Today we're going to be discussing a citation that the Illinois Department of Public Health recently issued to the Grove of Skokie nursing home after a resident there suffered a broken leg when the staff violated the resident's care plan. My name is Barry Doyle. I'm a lawyer in Skokie practicing nursing home abuse and neglect work throughout the state of Illinois. I'm also the author of Built to Fail, a free report available for download from my website, which spells out how the nursing home business model inevitably produces unnecessary injuries and deaths for nursing home residents. The purpose of the resident care plan is to identify the risks to the health and well-being of the resident and to set out a series of steps or interventions that need to be taken on a day-to-day, shift-to-shift basis by various staff members to help address or mitigate those risks that are identified during the resident's assessment. In this particular case, we had a resident who had a care plan that was in place which called for the use of a mechanical lift with the assistance of two staff members for all transfers. In other words, for being moved from bed to wheelchair, wheelchair to chair, and so forth. On the day of this particular incident, the staff was not using a mechanical lift, but was doing a two-person physical assist. In other words, physically lifting the resident from one place to another as the resident was being transferred from a wheelchair to a shower chair in order to get a shower done. In the process of doing this type of transfer, the resident wasn't able to bear any weight at all. The staff wasn't able to support her weight, and they lowered her to the floor. Frequently, when we hear about staff lowering a resident to the floor, this is really a controlled fall, even though the records tend to not describe it as such. The day following this incident, the resident underwent x-rays which showed that she had a comminuted fracture of the femur, which means that her thigh bone was broken into multiple pieces. Now, this is a kind of accident which would have been avoided had the care plan been followed. The care plan called for the resident be transferred using a mechanical lift, which would have alleviated the need for the resident to bear any weight at all during the course of the transfer. However, the staff failed to follow the care plan, opting instead to do a two-person physical transfer of the resident, which led to this particular fall and the resident suffering a broken leg. In cases like this, one of the things that we look at very closely is what the contents of the care plan are. Often when we're able to establish that the care plan was violated, it establishes a very clear link between what was done and the injuries that the resident suffered. In other words, we can look at days when the care plan was followed and the injuries were averted, days on the day when the care plan wasn't followed, the resident suffered the injuries. This establishes a fairly clear pattern of neglect on the part of the nursing home staff. A deeper question to ask is, why did the staff decide to go ahead and do the two-person physical transfer instead of use the mechanical lift? Often the answer to this ultimately is going to be understaffing of the nursing home. Actually getting the mechanical lift, configuring it properly for the use of this resident, having two staff members on hand to actually do the transfer, clearing away the mechanical lift after the transfer was complete, are all things that would have taken additional time. Doing the two-person physical transfer, even though it may have been physically more taxing, was something that would have taken less time to get done. And when you see staff members taking shortcuts in the care of the resident, often this is a sign that they have far too much work to do, and this is an indicator of understaffing of the nursing home. Understaffing of the nursing home is a systemic issue which really does place residents in the facility at risk for all sorts of poor care, whether it's falls or bed sores or any number of other things. Understaffing, unfortunately, is a core part of the nursing home business model, and sadly leads to unnecessary injuries and deaths for nursing home residents. I hope you found this interesting. If you have any questions regarding this or any other nursing home abuse and neglect issue, please feel free to reach out to us. Our number is 312-263-1080, or we can be reached on the internet at www.accidentlawillinois.com. Thanks for watching.